All right. Welcome, welcome. Merry Christmas to you too, Thomas. Appreciate you. Happy hump day. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. All right, guys, let's roll. All right, so I got something important to show you guys. And unfortunately, it may or may not be good, but it is what it is. Let's go down here. This is trading view. I'm going to go to the indicators and I'm going to go to RSI, stochastic. Get rid of the regular RSI for the moment. I'm going to go to the weekly time frame. I'm going to go to, I'm sorry. Ah, the 2-month time frame. We don't talk about the 2-month time frame very much, guys, but there's something important happening on the 2-month time frame. All right, so down here on the stochastic RSI, if you look, I'm going to show you every time when this happens right here. Yeah, shit doesn't go back far enough on here. I don't know why. All right. So back here, this is January 2014, the bull market top. This is where we had a blow up top. We had a little bit of a top. I mean, we had an all-time high back here before this bear market. We came up here and hit like 275 cents, had a big pullback, and then ran up one more time. This is the only hope we have right now of this happening in this bull market is where we hit a top. So that would be equivalent to us being right here at 126K and coming down. By the way, this came down about 75%. That was huge, right? That was a huge pullback. We're not quite 75%, but then we had a giant pump to the upside. But as you can see down here on the RSI, when the blue line crossed the orange line to the downside and then got below this dotted line, and it's not even that dotted line that's really the one that's questioned. It's right below it at the 75. So you want to draw a line at 75. Because the top of that line, the dotted line is 80. So if you go to 75, draw a line. If we get below the 75, historically, and by the way, look, there's only so many. It only goes back so far, right? So here is 2012, 2014. Here's 2017, 2021, and here we are in 2025. Whenever the stochastic RSI has dropped below 80 and then below 70, below 80, which is the dotted line, and then below 70, below 80 and then below the 70, it was the beginning of the bear market every single time so far. Now this one I can't go back far enough because there was no bull and bear market cycles before that. It just came up from the beginning right here, 2009. And I guess that might have been the top there before they actually started counting. So it was pre-trackable back then. There was no repetitive cycles because we didn't have any halvings or anything. So now we've had 1, 2, 3, and this is the fourth bull market after that. So right here, you can see right here, we got below that line, but we came back up and held underneath it here when we pumped back up and had this big surge back up, which could still happen right now. But then after that, we hit that ceiling right there at 75 and we couldn't get through it and then fell. And that was the beginning of the bear market. Up here, 3 years up, this would be equivalent to where we're at now, 126, coming down. And right here, as soon as it crossed that white line, that was the beginning of the end. This is where we're at right now, guys. The blue line crossed the orange line to the downside. It's through the 80 and it's touching the 75. Now the orange line needs to come down as well. But as you can see, the orange line is almost tilting outwards. And that is common because as you can see, every time that blue line crosses the orange line is going out first before it goes down. And the reason why is because the further away these are, the more likely it's going to fall. Just like on the bottom, the further away these are, the more likely it's going up. So here we are right now. Blue line is coming down to the 75. And it is right now bouncing. I mean, right now it's not bouncing or anything. It's just going straight down. And the only thing we can go by, guys, when we're looking at analysis, when we're looking at indicators rather, is history. And there has not been any times in history when we crossed this line that we did not go down. Ever in Bitcoin's history. Now, I always have to put that little asterisk in and say, but this time could be different because yeah, this time could be different, but I don't base my analysis on what ifs or if this time is different, but I will tell you what will happen if this time is different. But that's like betting, you know, I've made the analogies before about your friend showing up at 6 p.m. every week on the same day for years and years and years. And then that's like betting this time he's not going to show up. I mean, why would he? Why wouldn't he? He has every week for years showed up. Why wouldn't he this time? So you have to bet on what is the consistent theme. You have to bet on what's been the average, what's been going on, which is the trend. And so what I mean to say is this: if we can stay above this line and the orange line somehow, or the blue line crosses here and the orange line does not get all the way down here and the blue line crosses back up like this only other time that happened. But it did pump up higher in the price. The price did pump up quite a bit higher when that happened. Both of them got below the white line. And then we had that one last surge here where it came back up. But as you can see, the blue line and the orange line did not get back above the 70. It did not get back up here, but the price went up pretty parabolic to the upside. So that's the anomaly that can happen. But normally what happens is when you do stay below this white line, it is the beginning of a bear market every single time so far. So what does that mean? Well, I mean, it just means that the price, well, as this starts to go down and as this orange line starts, and by the way, we have 7 days left of this week or of this 2-month chart, 7 days and 7 hours. Which is what? But what have we been talking about for months now? We've been talking about the end of the year. 7 days and 7 hours is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the last day of the month. It's the last day of the year. And it is midnight at January 1st. And why is that important? Because that is also when we go to the 12-month time frame. That's the 2-month chart. But when we go to the 12-month, that means this candle will be done and printed. It'll be done. It will not be going up and down anymore. And then the next candle opens. When that next candle opens, historically, whatever the top of this candle was the top. Historically, so far. That was this candle in the last bull market. That was this candle in the last bull market. That was this candle in the bull market before that. So if we go back, this is 2013. Once this candle printed and this candle started, that was the top. In 2017, once this candle printed and this candle started, that was the top. And in 2021, once this candle printed and this candle started, that was the top. And here we are in this candle, again, 7 days and 7 hours left. Once this candle prints and the next one starts, whatever this one was, usually was the top. Now, could this time be different? Here's what would need to happen. In the next 2 weeks, in the next 7 days and 7 hours, we don't even have 2 weeks anymore. This candle right here needs to pump to the moon. Is that going to happen in the last week of Christmas? I like to say that everything is possible. I will not say that it's impossible, but a lot has to happen for that to happen. And I will also say that if that doesn't happen and this candle prints and the next candle starts and this candle's red like it is right now, it will be the first time that this candle prints red, which means it's literally lower right now. The price is lower than when it started up here at 93K. Because when this candle printed and this candle started, it was 93K. It did go up. This red candle did go up all the way to 126. But now it's down lower than where this candle ended, which has not happened before. That would be equivalent to this candle coming all the way down lower than this price right here, 28K, before this candle started. This candle, it would be equivalent to that one coming all the way back down to $960 before this candle printed. So that just hasn't happened before. So there are things that haven't happened before that are happening. So of course, a big pump to the upside, that hasn't happened before in the last week. Well, has it? Actually, it has. So all of these candles, all of these last bull market tops, these last months of December, all of them had a big pump in the last month of December. They did. They all did pump like 40% in December. The problem with that is that we've been in December now for 3 weeks and we only have a week left and we haven't seen that big pump. So that's different. We did pump. We didn't pump. We did pump when this candle first opened, because we opened this candle at 93 and then we pumped up to 126. So that was a nice pump, but it's come back since then. And so I'm taking that in consideration and the RSI that I just showed you, the stochastic RSI that I just showed you, and saying that if we go back down to the lower time frame, that if we can't get above a certain level, it does look like we're trying, but we are still in overall downward trending channel on Bitcoin, still trending down. And we hit the top just the other day on the 22nd. We hit way up here at 90. We hit 90, but we did not get through. We did get through the downward trending resistance, but we didn't hold above it. We actually bounced on it, and then fell back through and retested as resistance. It tried. But every other time, if you just look, every time it got up here, it just fell lower. So far, up here, it got all the way up here, fell lower. Here, it got above it too. Did the exact same thing it just did. Got above it, held on it, got below it, resisted, got above it, held, and then fell through and then fell lower. So this is a major, seriously heavy resistance line. It cannot get through for some reason. Now, on the other hand, we have this upward trending support that it has bouncing on. And we are now right on it, guys. We are like trying to hold on that. We've dipped below it, came back above, dipped below it, came back above. What is this line? Let's zoom out a little bit. That is this strange upward trending support that if I take it all the way back was resistance. And it's very similar to this one. If we just go back to the last bull market, we got above and we held as support. We made a all-time high and we came down as support. We made a double top This was 65K. This was 68K. We came down and bounced on it, bounced on it. And this is where we're at right here, guys. We're in a downward trending resistance, having a hard time getting through it. We got through it a little bit here, but came back below. We keep bouncing on this upward trend support. We did break out here finally, which I thought is where we were right now. And we did attempt to pump up, and we did get up a little higher, but we made a lower high ultimately, and could be looked at as a head and shoulder. I'm sorry, yeah, head and shoulder over here. Where we had a high, higher high, and then a lower high over here. And then we come back down to this line, bounce, 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 fall through, retest, and that was it. That was the beginning of the bear market. And then we go all the way down to 15.5. Takes a year to get down here. We come all the way back up, and here we are. We hit the previous resistance right here. Boom. That was that last pump before we fell to the bear market. We come up and hit it, retest resistance. We get through it, and we hold it as support. We pump up to 73.8, which is, or 73.8, yeah, new all-time high here. We barely beat the previous all-time high. And then we consolidate for 280 days or so before we finally break out and get up here and do this thing. And this thing right here, very similar to this thing. It's a big M pattern. Big M pattern. And it's a giant M. Boom. We hit all-time high. We double topped up here. And then we drop all the way down, and we're trying to hold above this. And we have this downward trending resistance. And if we break out of here, we could see that big pump that I was just talking about. We could see that attempt up here to 105, 106. I talked about this on the last call. But if it does the same thing as over here, and it doesn't make a new high, it could get close. It could come up here equal to 64. But if it doesn't make a new high, what we look at then is the RSI, and we come down here and we look at the weekly RSI, and we're like, okay, where is it? Right now it's down at the bottom. We're hoping that it bounces to go back up, but look what it's doing. Blue line cross the orange line, and then cross back down to the downside. Bearish. If we look at the 2-week, it looks like the 2-week is crossing over the orange line to the upside. If we go to the monthly, it's still going straight down. If we go to the 2-monthly, it's doing this, and this is the one you got to watch out for here, guys, because it's right there on the edge. So if we fall through that little support level that I was just showing you, I mean, this is a big red candle right here. We did wick down below it all the way to 80,500, and we come back up. So right now it's holding. It's holding as support. So it is possible that we break this downward trending channel to the upside and maybe get a little pump. It is possible. And or a big pump. So that's that last, but we got a week and 7 hours. That's the problem with that. So if I were betting, like literally betting, I would say probably not. Now, what about XRP? If XRP, there's something different happening with XRP. XRP is correlating. It's kind of just stagnant right now. It's the prices are going lower as well, but there's like a big shift happening behind the scenes with XRP that could cause XRP to pump like to unreal numbers in a very short period of time. And this is going to get scary for some people, because not only is it going to pump quickly, it might be delisted. It might be, Ripple might offer, and the federal government, the Federal Reserve might offer a buyback program. I mean, there's all kinds of things that can happen with this. What does that mean? That means that if XRP does get pegged as the golden child that's going to be handling all of the transactions on the financial networks around the world for banks and governments, Ripple, then the government is not going to want any in the retail market, any in the hands of the retail, right? It's going to be, but whatever the current value is, they will have to buy it back. That's called the buyback program. Okay. Now, should you sell it to them is the question. What are your options?
What the XRP army was actually sent a proposal to Trump for I think 58,000, but I haven't heard anything about that yet.
Yeah, I'm not so sure Trump has any control over that. This is a Federal Reserve banking situation. As far as the price, it's mathematical. It's not like whatever they want to say it is, but it has to be a certain price to handle the trillions or quadrillions of dollars worth of transactions. But um, but my point is that if you have it on a major exchange, it is possible that whatever the buyback, whatever the price is at that time, you might be forced to. Now, why would you want to sell XRP back to fiat currency? You wouldn't, generally speaking. So if you're an individual retail owner, holder, that's different than if you're a business or a trust or entity in institutional hands, and you're contributing to a fund or something to be used for liquidity pools and getting a dividend from it and all that stuff. So there are other options, but you can just sit on your hands and wait for all those options. You don't have to do anything. Even if there is a big pump, and guys, this is like best case scenario. Bitcoin, if XRP just shoots to $100 or $1,000, let's just use that, because that would be the holy cow moment that everybody is hoping for. But I can see $100. I can see $100 within the next, weeks or months, possible, if this whole thing is switched over. And a lot of people don't really realize how close that is to actually possibly happening. With the reverse carry trade in Japan, with Venezuela wars, oil is going to go up, with all of these things, guys, all coming to fruition at the same time. There is going to be a big change. It's going to be quick. It's going to be overnight. It's going to be nothing anybody can do about it, and it's going to be too late for those of you who are not already setting yourselves up in advance of it happening. Which is the majority of the population on planet Earth. Nobody is. I mean, if you look at the couple 100,000 wallets or the million wallets that actually hold XRP, most of them have like less than a couple hundred XRP. Very few have anything significant to even be concerned about. I forget the exact numbers, but it's like, there might be a couple 100,000 wallets that have more than 10,000 XRP.
Is this a good time to buy?
Randy, where you been, man?
I know. I'm closing my business after 25 years. I'm so busy, and I'm handing it over to another company. So I'm so happy. So
Good. So yes, as far as XRP is concerned, my recommendation would be to buy it. Yes, try to accumulate as much as you can, without obviously without diminishing your lifestyle or selling anything. This is not a bet the farm situation, but this is probably, in my opinion. Just remember, guys, this is my opinion. This is not financial advice. I mean, I know it may sound like advice, but it's just what I'm doing, is that this might be the last opportunity for regular people to front run the governments and front run all the institutions and buy something that's less than $2 right now, that could and very well may 100 to 1000x in the near future. XLM, HBAR, Solana, all of these have great potential to go up, but I don't think any of them are going to compete with XRP in the short term. So, yeah, I mean, to give you an example, if you have 1,000 XRP and XRP goes to $1,000, that's $1 million. Right now, you can buy 1,000 XRP for about $1,800. So I don't really know of many other things that can increase your net worth that rapidly without you having to build a serious business or invest in a lot of real estate over a long period of time or something like that. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
So buy, and then move it to a cold storage wallet.
Or spread it around. I mean, by the way, guys, I meant to say this on the last call, because there's a lot of those little videos you see popping up with Jake Claver and all these different gurus out there. And while Jake Claver's talking, there's like something on the screen that says, get your crypto off the exchanges, Coinbase, and move it to Web3 based, that's all bullshit, guys. Don't ever message those people that are on those videos. those are not really Jake Claver. That's somebody else pretending to be him, trying to get you to reach out in a DM to ask, well, what is this Web3 or what wallet's safe? And they're going to give you one for sure that they're going to scam you with. So Web3, guys, is just a term that has been spreading around lately to make everybody think that it's something different than just the internet. It's just the internet. It's just web-based. It's just a term to make everybody think that they don't have their things set up sufficiently, and you better do this before it's too late. They even say, don't hold it on a cold storage wallet. You need Web3. Okay, don't fall for all that. I've even said Web3 just to make everybody understand what I mean by it is that it's just something that you can connect to the internet is all it is. Whereas there are some cold wallets, I forget what they're called. They're cold. There are some cold wallets that are totally offline, and
Like Ledger or something like that.
yeah, you can't even connect it to the internet. Whereas, like for instance, the one I use is Decent. It's an app online, right? The cold storage aspect of it is that you are the only one in control of it, and no one can access your crypto without your 24-word seed phrase and your biometric, device that you have to literally put your thumbprint on in order to buy or sell or transfer out of your cold storage app. But it does still require the internet. It does still require Wi-Fi. Like if the internet goes down, you may not have access to your cold storage wallet or your crypto, but then again, no one else does either. And when the internet goes back up, you will have access to it again. Whereas if it's on Coinbase, for instance, and the internet goes down and we have some big, explosion in the sky, which knocks out the power in the internet for weeks or months on end, you not only do not have access to your crypto, but someone else does. Someone else is in control of it who may have backup, computers and backup, generators and all that stuff. Like Coinbase, for instance. Coinbase has your seed phrase. You don't. Coinbase is in control of your crypto more than you are. Yes, you can log in and you can withdraw and you can transfer and you can buy, but they can stop you from doing that anytime they want. They can block you from logging in because that is like a bank. That's a centralized exchange. Now, I use Coinbase. I'm not trying to confuse you guys. I do use Coinbase. And I'll say it's kind of like, a lot of these exchanges are like public restrooms. You get in, you do your business, and you get out. You don't hang around in there, right? So you need to buy crypto. You connect your wallet. You connect your bank account, your debit card, or your checking account. You do it on Coinbase. That's fine. I do that. And then from there, you can move it to your cold storage wallet or somewhere safer. If you're going to hold it long term, and you're going to eventually want to connect with an office that might be able to secure your crypto in some type of fund or something where you get a dividend for having it. So, and why would you do that? Because let's just say XRP does go to $1,000, and let's say you have 30 or 50,000 of it. Okay, that's if you have 50,000 XRP and it goes to $1,000, that's $50 million. Now, are you going to want to sell that to get the cash so that you can go and live your life? You can do that, but you're going to be at capital gains and all that stuff. But what you could do also is you could borrow against it. That's one thing, but you can also just hold it in a liquidity pool, guys, kind of like staking, and get a 5%, 6% dividend paid to you monthly forever. Okay, so without ever spending your 50 million. So what is that? Let's just do the math. 50 million times, let's just say 5% on the low end. That's $2.5 million a year divided by 12. That's $208,000 a month. Can you live on that? Can you have a good life with 200 grand a month? I can assure you, you can. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want, with whomever you want. And not only that, but you can finance anything you want. You can live in a $10 million house and have a Bugatti in the driveway, a Ferrari, and a Rolls Royce, all leased and financed. Now, you might say, well, I would rather just take the money out and pay cash for that stuff. No, that's the mistake. That's why people go broke. They spend all their money on stuff. You lease that stuff. You rent that stuff. You finance that stuff. You take mortgages out on that stuff. And you let the dividend or the interest that you're getting paid from your money pay all of those bills indefinitely without you ever spending your money. And when you want a new Rolls Royce, you just get a new lease. You go to the dealership, you give them back the old 2024, and you get a new 2027. And you just keep making payments. Now, You don't have to worry about depreciation of assets because you don't own it. You're just leasing it. You're just renting it. You're just using it. You want a private jet? Don't buy one. Just pay for the charter. Don't bog yourself down with ownership of depreciating assets. Anyway, that's a great problem to have, and we hope we all are in that situation going into the next couple of years. But some of you may not be able to accumulate 50,000 XRP for that example, but let's say you can get like 2,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 or 20,000. It's still gonna be more money than most have ever had. And it's gonna separate you. It'll put you in that category of the ultra rich. You know, I would say probably anything over $20 million or above would put you in that, you know, less than 1% category of the world. And you can not only, if you do the right thing with that amount of money, guys, you can not only make a lot more money with it, but you can live off it without ever spending it. And you can do that with a lot less money too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that when, you know, why have less when you can have more by making smart choices right now?
Hey, Nico, I'll just say, I mean, I know everybody talks about doomsday stuff, but if something happens like an EMP, even having your stuff on a cold wallet, you need to put that in like a Faraday bag or something, or else it's still going to get fried. So you do have to have protection. I mean, there's all these other scenarios that people talk about, as you know, we've talked about last week and stuff. So, I mean, but if there's like an EMP, they're kind of all screwed.
Old microwave. Go buy an old microwave at
Right,
Goodwill spend $10 on an old microwave at Goodwill.
Yeah, Faraday cage. Same.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gonna work. You can leave that anywhere.
Nico, can you take these from Descent? Can you take it off of like Robinhood and put it onto a Descent card?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
you just get a wallet address from your Descent. You generate it, and then you take that wallet address and go to any other exchange, and you just send it to that wallet address.
There is a minimum. I have Robinhood, and they send it an email. It's 5,000 XRP a month that you can transfer to your wallet. So
Yeah, that's a red flag right there, guys. So I would try to get all of your stuff off of Robinhood because they are limiting people, and they're even texting and emailing people asking them why they're removing their money. That's kind of crazy. They're like, do you plan on doing this again? How often do you plan on withdrawing? They don't want you to withdraw. They're kind of in control while they have it. So
and
Coinbase doesn't do that, but they could probably too. I mean, if there's a liquidity issue.
Yeah, I think they also. I was trying to read it. It's a big email. And I think it says they'll actually get your XRP and stake it for you. We don't sell it.
Yeah. There's another platform out there, guys. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's I mean, they're very involved with XRP. I think we talked about it before. Uptrend or Uply. I can't remember.
Not Uphold.
Uphold, maybe. Yeah, Uphold. I think that's it.
Hey, Nico.
Yeah.
Hey, I just on Coinbase last week. I bought $1,000 more, and Coinbase made me go through the KYC process almost again. And after they cleared that, now they put a hold on it till December 24th. Then they said after that I can access it. But yeah, it's frozen. They wouldn't let me go do a wallet.
You just opened the account brand new, you mean?
No, actually, I've been doing it for a couple months. Yeah, a good month or two.
And then what did you try to do out of the blue?
I just purchased another $1,000 worth of XRP, and yeah, now they kind of had to go through. Oh, this is for security reasons and everything else, and had to give my photo ID and all that, just like I did a KYC. You know.
Now, did you not do any transactions for a long time and then do that? Or
no,
Okay.
not within a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's weird. And
Do you have a
the only thing I can think of is that you did it like maybe on a new device or a different device that they weren't used to seeing as you logging in on, or they're just tightening up their security. I haven't had that happen for me in a long time, but I do transact a lot, so I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but yeah,
we'll see. Hopefully after the 24th, hopefully it goes through.
Yeah.
Did you have an expired ID recently? Because I just had my birthday and my license expired, and Coinbase locked me out until I get my new license. So,
Oh,
I mean, your KYC only lasts as long as your identification's good for.
yeah,
Oh,
that's a good
same
point.
driver's license.
That's
I
a
still
good
got
point,
the same
guys. If you
driver's
open it,
license.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I still have the same driver's license and everything too. I was using.
Yeah, if you open up your account with your KYC and you're giving your ID and all that stuff, and maybe it doesn't expire for 2 years. When it expires, they're going to have you redo all that. So I haven't had to deal with that yet. But
Guys, my experience with Coinbase is like if you transfer $1,000 from your bank, they'll hold that money for about 5 to 7 days just for a bank transfer. Kind of like we're talking about the speed of XRP. It's just for everything to clear with the banks, and then they free your money up usually 5 to 7 days to transfer it off there. They've had that policy for a long time, so
yeah,
just be aware.
that's why I don't
And
use
it,
transfers or wires, because they do have to wait for everything to clear. If you want instant, use a debit card. I don't have that problem with the debit card. It's available immediately. And I think if you do a wire, if you purchase something with a bank, it'll show as deposited in your account, but you can't move it anywhere. You can't transfer it. You can't withdraw it. You can't send it to another account. But with a debit card, it's there immediately. It's available immediately. If a credit card, I don't even know if they take credit cards anymore, but a lot of times they have to wait for it to clear on both ends because people could technically charge back. And so they're going to hold that until there's a clear on both sides, make sure that, the transfer went through. Yeah, it's
and this was even after that waiting period too, because I have it directly taken out of my savings. And this was even after this 5-7 days of waiting, and then all of a sudden I go to move it. Yep, and you got to go through that whole process. Just be aware.
Yeah, it is kind of a pain. I've had Coinbase since the beginning, since they first opened. I think it was like 2013 or something. I can't remember, maybe longer. But I don't have any issues with them at all. I mean, I hear a lot of people have a lot of issues here and there, but I haven't had any. But I am at the highest level of security, and I transact a lot. But I think a lot of times too, guys, you got to be careful is if you're doing any kind of transfers to any shady or blacklisted wallets, you may not even know. Let's say you send crypto to somebody. Maybe it's someone you know or someone you don't know. Maybe you're buying something from somebody, but you're paying in crypto. You may not know that person, but if that wallet you're sending to is blacklisted because they did something wrong, or they stole money from somebody, or they've been reported from somebody else, then Coinbase will associate you with them and block your account until they investigate it to see if you're connected or to hear what your side of the story is. So you got to be careful who you do business with. I only transfer from Coinbase to my other accounts, like my Decent wallet, my Phemex account. I never transfer to any unknown. If I want to buy something in crypto, I don't use Coinbase. I will use Phemex. I will send it from a decentralized platform, not a centralized platform. They have much stricter security over at Coinbase. They have to because they'll get sued. They got hundreds of thousands of customers with billions of dollars in assets that they're holding for their customers. I don't know if you guys watched the link. I think I shared it a couple weeks ago, where the founder of Coinbase was live on Twitter, on X, speaking about all the things that they're doing over the coming year or two, which is all positive stuff, guys. I mean, Coinbase is growing. They got some major cool stuff happening. It is. I think I will probably always have a Coinbase account, because it is your connection from the fiat world, from the current regular money system into crypto. It is a good connection. It is a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange, one of the largest in the world. And but they are offering so many different services, from staking to lending. You can borrow right now against your Bitcoin, against your Ethereum. Right now, you can just, if you have Ethereum or Bitcoin and you need cash, you can borrow up to 30 or 40% against it, and they'll just put it right in your cash account, and you can withdraw it to your bank. So they got a lot of services already. They pay you like, I don't know what it is, 6-7% for staking USDT. So Better than banks, guys. I mean, you don't need your traditional banks anymore. They have a credit card and debit card. You can just spend USDC right off your credit card or your debit card. So I mean, literally, they're actually providing way more services than typical banks do. And so there are a lot of people that are not even using regular banks anymore. But with that all being said, still not your keys, not your crypto, so to speak. Similarly to a bank, someone asked about the doomsday possibility. I mean, I can't tell you what will happen in a doomsday situation because I haven't lived through one, but if the power goes out like nationwide or in major cities for any length of time, more than a day, chaos breaks out. I don't know if any of you have ever been in Florida during a hurricane, like when the power goes out for 2 weeks, people are freaking out. People go into the stores and they wipe out the stores and they're fighting over cases of water. So imagine if this goes on for 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks. Trucks can't deliver from the manufacturers. There's nothing coming into the stores. The stores are empty. They have to close. Imagine how bad that could get. I don't want to put negative things out in the universe because I don't think that's going to happen. But if it did, your crypto might be the last thing you're worried about. But at the same time, I would rather have it on a device in my possession than lost in, on some cloud that someone else is in control of, that they can use that whole outage as an excuse to steal everybody's crypto. So I still keep stuff on Coinbase. I just don't keep it all there. I mean, I think it's good to spread things out, not keep all your eggs in one basket. Sorry, guys, I'm sitting here sharing my calendar. I was trying to get to another screen. Now you see all my appointments. With that being said, though, I would just like you do in the real world, like before crypto, I never just had one bank account at one bank. I mean, I try to build relationships with multiple banks. And so I think they could do the same, and also have some cash in your closet, in your safe. That's the same thing as having a cold storage wallet for crypto. You can have money in the bank, but you can have crypto on Coinbase, but you can also have a cold storage wallet with a lot more of it there, just in case something happens. Any other questions in regards to that?
So if a hurricane hits, are you ready? 'Cause I am ready. I stay ready.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a no flood zone at all. I mean, I don't have I'm not a doomsdayer. I don't have months worth of supplies. I wish I did. Most people wish they do when the time comes, and we kind of laugh at people who do that. Those hoarders, the people that are really doomsdayers that really stock up for the really worst case scenarios. We laugh at them, but they're the ones that will be prepared, and they're the ones that everybody will be knocking on their door when the shit hits the fan. But I'm prepared for a couple of days. I can handle that. But I mean, there are people out there, guys, believe it or not, and I'm sure you believe it, and you really wouldn't believe it until you actually saw it with your own eyes, that don't even know how to light a candle or a match. They don't know how to build a fire. They don't know how to keep their food from going bad if the power goes out because the refrigerator doesn't work. They just don't know what to do because they're never taught this stuff, these survivalist skills. They don't know how to do anything. And imagine all these young yuppies, no offense to anybody who has one, because my girlfriend has one, but imagine all these people who are driving around in these electric cars. And they get stranded and the power goes out and the grid goes out.
Well, that's what happened in San Francisco the other night, Sunday night. And I was there, and the clerk there at the store we were at was talking about her. Well, this is the day before, her going home in the bus, and all these Waymos were stopped in the middle of the intersection. They didn't know what to do because they're driverless cars, right? Yeah. And she was in the bus, and a fight broke out in the back of the bus, and she goes, "Oh my goodness sakes, I don't know what to do. It's all dark." It was crazy. and it was just nothing but chaos. So yeah, in a big city, you know, oh,
Panic.
panic.
People panic and that spreads very quick. That just happened. That's right. San Francisco, guys. I mean, it was on the news. I mean, they had a major power outage throughout San Francisco, and Evo, those driverless electric cars were all just like at a standstill. I don't know how that happened. I guess they're getting their energy from the air, which is probably true. And it's probably that technology is probably available. They're just not making it available to everyone else, because all of our houses could probably operate just from the atmosphere.
They were at a standstill because the lights were out and the sensors didn't recognize and didn't know what to do.
That too. Yeah, that's a good reason.
And Tesla figured out how to get energy from the air. They just squashed it. So the government has it somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just because of news scum.
Say that again. I'm sorry. Who was that, Manuel?
That's just because of the governor news scum over there.
Oh yeah. He's an idiot. He's an idiot.
Well, that's a Nikola Tesla situation anyway.
Yeah, so guys, it could get bad. I think that I think that a USA is the last place that it could get like that, but it certainly could happen. But be concerned with what's happening right now in Venezuela. I mean, we got Trump, we got the United States surrounding and confiscating and shooting and blowing up things right off the coast of Venezuela, and we got Russian warships and nuclear submarines coming in because Russia defends Venezuela. We got China nuclear subs coming in. Now, if China and Russia got together, I'm pretty sure we would have a problem. But I think that, Russia and maybe Trump and what's his name are trying to work out things. And I think that China is also friends with Trump.
What's weird about the Venezuela situation is when you look at the Maduro guy, they were aboard with the whole COVID-19 thing. They vaccinated. They did everything that we did. So they were aboard with that. They sit on the United Nations. They have a centralized banking system that we have here. So, I mean, they have everything. They followed everything that we've done for years. So you got to really question yourself. Is there really going to be a real war? Is it more of a stage? What really is it if these people have participated from day one, even though they hold oil? What is it really about? Is there something else that's really going to happen on the other end? So it's keeping everybody tuned into this Venezuela situation. Again, Venezuela has played ball with us all the way through. They even sit in the United Nations with us. So it's kind of strange.
Yeah, there's a lot of strange stuff going on. And it could be the catalyst, and it could be the reason, and it could be all just a stage, and it all could be planned, and it all could be just for the sole purpose of flipping the monetary system over to some new.
The CIA are out of there with embedded with Maduro. That's why the CIA. So
yeah, no, we can go down all kinds of rabbit holes, guys, and talk about that forever. There's all kinds of crazy shit going on in the world. So really, the only thing you can control, this is like a really important part of what we do here. Beverly, I wasn't sure if you were talking to me or not, but we had to mute you. So the only thing that you can do, guys, is control what you can control, your own monetary situation. Obviously, in any hardship situation, whether it's a depression, a recession, a war, economic downfall, whatever, the rich or the richest or the richer people tend to fare better. Because if you have nothing or you lose everything, you're going to be in a tough situation where you're just going to have to do whatever you're told. You're going to have to comply. You're going to have to get on the welfare. You're going to have to get the handouts. You're going to be in a bad situation. So obviously, I always recommend that your first priority, and I learned this from Dr. Wallace D. Wattles in the book, The Science of Getting Rich, which predates Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I highly recommend you all read it if you haven't. Your first priority, man or woman, I don't care if you're a woman, because if you're a woman and you're on here, obviously you are independent enough to be thinking for yourself and trying to make your own money. And I don't say this in any kind of derogatory way. Men don't have a choice most of the time. They have to be the breadwinners. They have to provide for their family. They have to take care of shit. Your first priority should be to get rich. as rich as you can, because you cannot help yourself. You cannot help anybody else if you're struggling, right? So, and I don't say that in a materialistic way. I don't say, oh, you should get rich so you can have yachts and planes. I'm saying that because your life depends on it. Your family depends on you. And same with women. I didn't mean to even differentiate, but if you're a woman and you're trying to make money and you have to support yourself or your family, then you should also do whatever you can to get rich, of course. It's just that, I bring that up because I think what I see happen a lot is people think they have time. Oh, I'm going to start that new business after the new year. I'm going to start exercising, on January 1st. That's it. I'm going to stop eating cake. I'm going to stop. Why not right now? What are you waiting 3 more days for? What's another week going to do? You just want an excuse to just be glutton for the next week at all the Christmas parties. I say that with health and fitness. I say that with finances. What are we waiting for? Did you guys see the video of the billionaire who crashed his Ferrari going through the tunnel in Los Angeles?
Yeah, you're talking about the guy from the Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. But again, that's even weird because he had a lot of major stuff that the government doesn't want you to know in his games, even survival tactics. So you got to ask yourself, why would he go out and he's driven through that area so many other times, and this time he just crashed?
Yeah, I mean, there could be a conspiracy behind it, but my point to that is that he had everything. And you think he was planning? I don't think he was planning on dying that day. He crashed his Ferrari and killed himself. And his car just went out of control after going through this tunnel and taking a curve too fast. Now, there could have been some other conspiracy, other things behind that. But point is that we think we have time. He had everything. He just sold his company or I don't know if he sold his company or not. He's just, a billionaire. But don't wait, guys. It should be important enough for you to do whatever you can. And so to answer your question, who was it that asked that earlier? Should you buy? Yes, Randy, I believe it was. XRP. Under $2, guys. I mean, I can't believe it's still under $2, to be honest with you. Let me go back and let me just look at it right here.
$1.85 now.
I keep saying it's going back down to 70.
Yeah, I mean, it could, guys, it could go to $1 for all I know before the big pump. But that would be, I mean, we got a similar situation here on the 2-month time frame. We got the blue line crossing the orange line to the downside on XRP. This is the 2-month. Let's go down to the weekly.
So it just going sideways too, because institutions are loading up still, or
yeah. If you look, remember the big dip on the 10th right here, this big drop when we came all the way down to $1.25 or whatever it was. This is the market cap I'm looking at, but
we see you.
Let me just look at where that hit, guys. Look at this.
You need to share your screen, boss.
Oh, thanks. Look at where that hit, that big drop. Boom. Previous high. Now, is it going to come down and retest that? Double bottom? It's heading that way. But it's done that here too, where we come down. We had a big falling wedge here, very similar to Bitcoin. And then we pumped out of that, right? We had a nice falling wedge there. It did come down right to about, what was that? I can't remember. It was like $1.70 or $1.68 or something like that. And then pumped out of that, dropped all the way to $1.25 on the 10th when everything dropped. But we're doing it again, kind of, we're coming down in a major falling wedge kind of way. But is it only going to go to this level that we're hitting right now? Because there is a level here. If we zoom out, you can see we had major support here. here, here. We did wick through here. For support. We're kind of hitting this major support level right now. So we need to either break out of that. Otherwise, we are going to see possibly the final shakeout before the big pump. But this is what happens usually when it does have that big wick down, is it breaks out. And we could say that that did happen here. But this over here, it didn't come back down to double bottom. This one it went all the way back up to here, and now it's slowly coming down. Could this be it? Could this be it? Could this little wedge be it where it breaks out? It could. There's a lot of could be's. We are underneath. Also, it flipped the EMA ribbon as well. But this is the market cap. So let me go and look at regular XRP. This is what it looks like. What I was just showing you is this big drop right here down to $1.25. It says $1.37 on here, but I think it hit $1.35, $1.25. We've hit these levels. These are going to come back down that far. That's where it wicked down to this time, and now it's holding up here on this major structure of support. So far, it's holding. I mean, could we just double bottom here? Because we hit it right here, boom, at $1.78, I think, $1.70. Comes up and retest this support, as resistance. Boom, hits it. Can't get back through yet. It's coming back down. Possible double bottom. Also, this is the daily. We do have a blue line crossing the orange line to the downside. It didn't even make it all the way back up here. Let's go to the weekly. We're down low in the dumps here. Also, stochastic RSI is just dribbling down here on the bottom. So this could be the bottom. I mean, we are at the bottom, but how long can it stay there? And so a lot of people get fed up. A lot of people get tired of waiting. And then what happens is we get a nice little pump. Some people buy right here, which is where you should buy if you haven't yet, and where you should buy some more if you already bought up here somewhere. I was on a call with someone the other day. He was like, I bought XRP at $2.28 or $2.60, and my account is down. I lost this much money. I'm like, you didn't lose anything if you still got it. Should I sell? He literally asked me, should he sell? I mean, I'm like, how many of these calls have you been on? Do you really think I'm going to tell you should sell right now? You mean you want me to advise you to buy high and sell low? No, don't sell, buy more. Might not ever see this price ever again. And the powers that be, trust me, they're buying billions. You guys know what the inflow is right now into XRP from the institutions? Billions going into ETFs, and wait till the derivatives market, wait till they start clearing transactions in the derivatives market, guys. This is just going to get insane. And if you think that this is impossible for XRP to get to $500 or $1,000, just remember, not that long ago, just a few years ago, let's just go back and look at good old Bitcoin. Not when it was 15K, not when it was 3,000, not when it was 160. We would love XRP to get to 160, but when Bitcoin was right here at $3.90, which is just about what XRP got to. Now let's just look at this for a second. Right here, it was $7.24 Bitcoin, and it dropped all the way down to $3. Now, do you think that people who bought here thought that they should, how many, do you think that people who bought here finally, because Bitcoin went all the way up to $32 and came all the way back down to $1.98, which is very similar to what XRP is doing right now, right? It's coming all the way back down from its little high of, $3 or whatever, coming back down to $1.98. How many people do you think like sold because of this big dump? They thought, oh, this is over. It's going down now. It's going to zero. Almost every one of these you can see. Pump up to 50 cents, dropped all the way down to 17. pump up to $1.09, drop all the way down to 57 cents. You got to hold tight and buy more on these dips because XRP is just getting started. It's down here, and now the reins are lifted. All of the roadblocks, all the legal stuff is all gone. The multi-billion-dollar contracts are being put in place. The fact that it's still under $2 is only because the institutions are buying from the other ledger, which is Ripple's holdings. Until that runs out and they have to start buying on the open market, the retail market, that's when price appreciation will explode. And that's probably going to happen soon. Bill, I think knows, I don't remember if it's the same or if you're just quoting the same numbers from a couple of months ago, but do we know how much XRP is available on the retail market opposed to the other market?
I think they've got 30 billion to 40 billion locked up and then 60 billion on the open market. If it hasn't changed, I'll do a quick Google.
Yeah. So, I mean, when XRP goes from this down here to from $1.92. Now look at this, guys. This is Bitcoin in November of 2011 at $1.98, $1.96. October, November. January, $15. One month later, $15. March, April, 2 months after that, $252. So to think that XRP can't go up into the hundreds in a month or two, you would be delusional. You would be not aware of what this kind of stuff does when there's major demand. Because that not only can happen, but it's more likely to happen with XRP than even Bitcoin right now. And that was obviously, now imagine how rich you would be if XRP just went to $252 with some of your holdings. Not to mention if XRP went then to 19,000, 60,000. Is that possible? Yeah. It is. Some people are like, it's impossible because market cap. The market cap would have to be more than the entire supply of money in the world. Well, if the purpose of XRP is to facilitate the settlement and transactions of all the money in the world, then it would have to be more valuable than that per coin. I'm not going to wait for $100,000 XRP to sell. And by the way, if XRP goes to $250, I probably will sell some. I'll probably get my initial principal back off the table at least. But the majority of it's going to be held, and the majority of it's going to be staked or loaned. I'm going to be the lender for a return. So going into the end of the year, guys, and going into the new year, I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about on the local charts because scalping and all this stuff, the prices is moving so slow that there haven't been many signals in the group because it's just hard to, I mean, you could just short it and write it down because I do think that we could, I mean, until we break out and get above a certain level, we're just trending down slowly, right? I did give a long signal the other day because right here, I was pretty, we were breaking out and we were holding right above it. Let me go down to a lower time. Oh, this is Bitcoin. Let me go down a little lower. Oops. This is where we were just hours, yesterday. I was thinking we're breaking out. We not only hit resistance, but we broke out and made a higher high. If we come down and retest this and bounce, then we're off. That's why I went long. Now it did come back below it and retest underneath. But but when it came down, all it came down to was the upward trending support. So is it winding in here to break out again? I'm just staying in my long right now for now. But if we break below this and we stay in this downward trending channel, guys, then I have a feeling we will probably continue this downward trend for a little while. And that's okay. It sucks in the short term, but we can make more money on the bounce when it finally is ready to break out. Generally speaking, bear markets usually last about a year, but I mean, there could be the last time this happened, guys, when I showed you the stochastic RSI down here on the 2-month. Let me just show you one more time. I'm on the 2-month. This here, guys, when this happens down here, and the blue line crosses the orange line to the downside and gets below the 75 on the RSI, this is multi-hundred days, multi-hundreds of days going down. It's not something that just reverses very quickly. That's generally bear market, and then 100, 300, a year, a couple hundred days. But if there's any consolation, the top was 126, and that right here at the top to right where it's at right now has already been 61 days. All right, let's see. The top was September 1st. So we're 2 months in. If this does continue to go down and breaks this 70, breaks the 80K into the 70s, probably will go down to 68, 70 right here. We gotta bounce there, guys. But that could take a few more months of just slow downward dribbling. We can short it and make money on the way down. But what we really want to do is make sure we stay above 70, because as long as we stay above 70, this line right here, we're still technically in bull market. Breaking that 70K below that, then that would be equivalent to this. When we finally broke this, and then we really dropped from, 38, 40K up here all the way down to 17K. That happened in a 2-month period. This candle is 2 months. And then another 2 months, 2, 4, 6, 8 months. The top, but a little over a year from the top. So we've already done this and this. We've already done this. This is all we've done so far. We're right here. If we break through this line, though, we could drop right down to the 68.70, kind of like this one. And if we break through that, then we can come down to the bottom of this ribbon, which could be down here in the 40, 30, 40 range. And that is possible. That would be bear market. And a lot of people get scared. A lot of people think it's over. A lot of people think, oh, I missed my opportunity. No, that will be the best opportunity going forward from there. Like in Crypto Renegades, guys, ask Bill and Chad. I mean, the biggest money you're going to make is the bear market timing the bottom, because that next run up is going to be spectacular. Look at what if you got in here at 15.5. By the way, this was a 80% drop, 77% drop from the top, from the bull market top last time. And so if we did that again, guys, that would bring us down to 30K. But if you would have got in here if that were to happen again, you would have got in here. That would have been 600, 700% pump to the upside. And that's with no leverage. So if we start wicking down, if we get below here and we wick down here, you just be happy that you just sit on your hands and wait, guys. You don't even have to short it. You don't have to write it down. Just wait for the next pump, the next bear market bottom, because we're going to know when that is. You might say, how? For those of you who are wondering, how are we going to know when the bottom's in? Let me show you. Let's go now to the regular RSI. We know now, like before the last one, I didn't know. We were guessing. We said 17K. We called the bottom at 17K. And it went a little further down before it went up. But now we know how. Now we know how we're going to know.
And it's almost a year to the day. It's crazy how it is. I was going back 2017, did it also. It's 2017 and 2021. I don't know about 2013. I think it was kind of off, but yeah, almost a year to the day.
Yeah. Each bear market cycle usually takes about a year, and every bull market so far has taken 3 years to get to the top. So it's 3 years up, 1 year down. So let's just look at this. This was the bull market top last time. This was the bear market bottom. That took a year. But rather than guessing the exact day and say, oh, well, it's been a year, so let's just go long, what we do is look down here on the RSI. We had bearish divergence. This is when this was the all-time high right here at 41K, the all-time high of the RSI. And then it went up a little higher. The price went up to 65. That was the new all-time high. And as you can see here, when we pulled back and shot back up, we had a lower high. A higher high up here, lower high here. Then we drop all the way down to 28K and come up for a double top at 68K. This dropped all the way down, came up to a double top at 68K, lower high. And then again, we drop down to this line. This is where we're at right now, guys. We're bouncing on this line. And the RSI looks the same. Bearish divergence. We had a high, a lower high, lower high, lower high, and now we're down here below the floor. I went over this on the last call, but I want you guys to really, really understand it, see it, like, and get it, because this should get you excited. Even though you got to wait for it, this is where the big money happens. All of this day trading, all of this scalping and stuff, that's great. You can certainly make a lot of money. We've got people in our group doing it, but consider that practice, because this is when you're going to make the big moves. We get below this floor. Right here, we got below the floor, and we tried one more run up. That's when we had that last pump. We broke the downward resistance. We pumped up to 47K, but we never got any higher. And then we came back down to this line and then fell through. We went up, came back to the line, fell through. Bear market. All the way down to 15.5. But before we got to 15.5, we went below this dotted line, and that's when we called the bottom in the group. And that was right here at 17.8. Started to climb. And look when it started to climb. What did it do? It came right up to that line, broke through, even though the price was going down, it broke through, and then retested, dropping all the way to 15.5. But if you look down here, all that really happened is it broke through the downward trending resistance finally and retested as support. That would have been the best entry ever going into the next bull market. So here we are now in the current situation. We are already below the floor. We could come back up and have another run for it, but it doesn't look like it's heading in that direction. It did the other day when we had this little uptick, but it looks like it's kind of going back down. So that could be like this, where, you know, it looks like it was coming up and goes down a little further. Up here, you can see when that happened in the last bull market was right here. When we come to the bottom of this trend, this is where we're at. We're at the bottom of that this line. I know it's kind of hard to see, but we did exactly that. Look at that. That wick down below that line is this wick down below that line right here. Boom. And we're under the floor. It did come back up above the floor and make another and broke out of this resistance and tried to make a run for it, but it never got any higher than that. And as soon as it fell back below the EMA ribbon and hit that floor one more time right here, boom, making a lower high on the RSI and then falling through the floor, that was it. That's the beginning of the end. That's when we know to short this on the way down. And that's when this price could then finally fall pretty far. We will be short and we will make money on the way down. But this is the exciting part because this is what it's going to look like. So let's say it does that, guys, and it comes back up. It makes another run for it. Boom. We only get up to maybe 100, 105, and then it comes back down, falls back through the floor, and then falls. We go down in price. After it pumps up to 100, falls back down, kind of like it did here. Very similar. And we get down below the floor, the real bottom here underneath the dotted line, which is the 30 on the RSI, and then comes up above that line. What needs to happen? It needs to come back up and break out of this downward trending lower high situation. And as you can see here, it didn't do it when these lines intersected up here. It did it way over here, which could be over here, where it just finally breaks out down here. Boom. Retest. That's the beginning of the bull market. That's going to be your best entry. This happened before, guys. This is the most recent time in the last bull market, but only happened one other time in history where we had bearish divergence, and we have it here in this bull market as well. So this very well could 126 could very well be the top. I mean, it is the top. It is the top, right? Because it hasn't gotten any higher than that. So right now, as it stands, it's the top. Whether we have another surge from here up higher, which still could happen, this is what would have to happen. The price would need to bounce on this line, break out of the downward trending resistance here, just like it did here. And then the price would have to literally go up higher than the previous high.
Hey, Nico, just to mention that something I saw last week where, I mean, we got the holidays, but they had mentioned that this is the largest options expiration ever coming up. So
expiration, yeah,
the largest options expiration ever. So all these different things, people manipulating money, and like even what you said with the past, where even the next candle that starts on January 1st having a little pump up. I remember because back in 2022, I was up in Rhode Island seeing my family, and I had a couple altcoins. I mean, I had other ones, but my altcoins, I had this coin Sato that, I mean, I had a lot of it at like maybe a quarter of a penny, and it pumped up to like 10 cents. I mean, it was like $40,000 by like the 2nd or 3rd of January. And then, if you didn't get out, but like I said, even pumping up for another week or two in the beginning of January from these options expirations, people were deploying their money into different things. We could have one last hurrah, and then the things that you're saying, drop back down.
Yeah, and I'm fully expecting that we could, guys. I mean, it is 2 weeks left. I mean, not even. It's a week and 7 hours. It's not even 2 weeks anymore. I keep saying 2 weeks because I've been saying this for so long, but a few weeks ago it was 30 days. We had 30 days. We had the end of this month. Now, guys, it could be different this time. And like Keith was just saying, we could have this. We could, by the way, what he was just talking about was options expirations in the futures market, Bitcoin options as well, crypto. And guys, you can trade crypto with options in the stock market, just like you do crypto futures. You could, and you could even probably make more money doing it, but you better be right with the expirations. You better know what you're really doing with options. That's a different story. But because you don't have the same liquidation, because it's based on an expiration date, like you give it a certain amount of time for it to do what you're thinking it's going to do. Whereas in futures, you put in a trade, let's say long or short, and if it goes against you, it could liquidate you or hit your stop loss. Whereas in options, let's say you give it 6 months to do the thing, it's not going to liquidate you, or it could go, and it doesn't matter if the price is going against you or not. You don't lose anything until until your options expire, right? But and so it's a little different, but the thing is that we're just right here, guys. We're on the precipice. We got a week. We got a week to see what's going to happen here. Are we going to hold the line and bounce and try to break out to the upside and try to get back above the EMA? There's so many resistance levels. It needs to break this downward trending resistance first. This one. It needs to break out of that and get above the EMA, which would mean flipping it back long, flipping it again positive instead of below it, because right now it's below the EMA ribbons. Very difficult to flip. By the way, let's just look in this bull market. We dipped into the EMA ribbons once, didn't get below it, just dipped down to the bottom of it, made a higher high, dipped into the ribbons twice, didn't get below it, broke back out, dipped into the ribbon, dipped into the ribbon, dipped into the ribbon. This time we got below it. And what does that mean? Well, just look at all the other times we got below it. We stayed above it, stayed above it, stayed above it, dipped into it, dipped into it, dipped into it, stayed above it, dipped to the bottom of it, bounced, dipped to the bottom of it, bounced, got below it, can't get back above, bear market. Stayed above it, dipped into the bottom of it, came back above. Dipped below it, came back above. But generally speaking, when you get below it, it's bear market. Below it, I mean, dipped into it, got below it, couldn't get back up. But this time we wicked above it. We did wick above it, and we can wick above it, but we have to hold above it. This one wicked above it, came right back down below it, broke this line, bear market. So that's where we're kind of at. We went below it. We're already below it. We would have to wick above it and hold above it, because if not, we could have that big pump that we were just talking about up to 105, 106, maybe even 110 or 115. And maybe even higher to 130, 140. That would be a continuation of the bearish divergence. We would have another higher high. But if down here, the RSI does not make a higher high here, then that last pump will be the last one. And that would have to happen in the next week, which could happen. I mean, just look at this candle. This candle. That'll happen in 1 month. Some of these candles, guys, I mean, these are weekly candles. Look at this. 1 week, boom, from 38K all the way up to 50K. That would be like us pumping right back up right now to like 115 in one candle. And then getting to a higher high at 130, 140, boom, and that's it, dropping. Possible, but it's just, there's just no buying pressure. There's a lot of weird shit happening around the world. There's everything's just so weird right now. That's why this could be different this time. But at the same time, you got to look at the charts and say what's happening on the charts is actually not different. What's happening on the charts is actually what has always happened, and it's showing us basically a pattern. And patterns tend to repeat, but this is what would have to happen if this pattern breaks. We'd have to break this downward trending resistance, get above this EMA ribbon, and then this would literally have to get above this downward trending resistance line in order for bearish divergence to be nullified, and us really go parabolic to a new high. Possible, yes, but I mean, look how far down. Not only are we not close to even breaking through that line, we're below the floor right now, and we only have a week left of this the typical bull market cycle before that next candle opens on the 12-month chart. So yeah, I mean, it's not good or bad. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. It's just the cycle that we're in. Some of you just joined Crypto Renegades. Some of you just started learning about crypto right at the end of a bull market. No big deal. It's all timing sometimes, but some people got into Crypto Renegades when we were down here. They just missed this whole downward trend. Some people got in over here, right when we first started Crypto Renegades, back here, right when we were hitting the top. And we called the top here too, I believe. I don't know, Bill, if you can, but we didn't anticipate this double top. We were calling the top over here because of the market cycles.
Right.
And then it came down and we had this big surge, but a lot of weird things were happening. We had COVID. We had the FTX collapse. billions of dollars got scammed and lost from Sam Bankman fraud right when this happened. And that was kind of it just took the wind out of the sails. And so this time all positive things are happening. And we did make a nice all-time high, but you got the Clarity Act, guys, we got the Clarity Act coming up. If that passes, you're going to see billions coming into some of these altcoins, XRP, Ethereum, XLM. Some of these things are going to just have 50x, 100x moves to the upside. Bitcoin's going to move up too, don't get me wrong, but not at the same ROI. And Bitcoin 2x's, it will go to 200 grand. That's great. 2x is awesome, right? 100% gain, great. But XRP could 100x or 1000x during that same time period. So this is why you see BlackRock and some of these multi-billion-dollar hedge funds moving billions out of Bitcoin into XRP ETFs, Ethereum ETFs. They're just shuffling money around because they're trying to catch the highs and trying to then pivot into the next big thing. And then once those things have their pump, then Bitcoin will be at a bear market bottom, and then they're going to move the money back into Bitcoin. It's just a never-ending revolving door of making money. They just know when to do it. And you guys just need to know when to do it. That's all. And then I want you all to get to, my personal goal for everyone here is to get to the point where not only have you made a lot of money, but you're also more patient and you're not worried about the daily ins and outs and the daily scalping. It's great to learn how to trade, guys. That's what we teach, but that's not where really the big money, the big guys are not making money on day trading scalping. Don't get me wrong. There are guys that make millions of dollars scalping. In fact, I think if you look at the Wall Street traders, I think one of the biggest earners in Wall Street at one of the biggest hedge funds is a scalper. Makes like $6 million a day or a month or something ridiculous. But for the regular person out there, I mean, for the majority of the big whales out there, they sit on their hands for most of the year and wait for the big moves. They wait for the tops and the bottoms of cycles so that they can get that. They can put the $1 million right here and go 5x leverage with $1 million. And then over a 3-year period, they get a 700% gain to the upside on their $1 million, which is 7 million, at 10x leverage, which is 70 million. Do you think they need to trade in and out every week? Hell no, they don't want to do that. They're too busy running their businesses, enjoying their life, traveling around the world. They'll make 70 million from a bear market bottom to a bull market top. And then they'll get out and wait for the cycle to happen again, or they'll short that top and ride it all the way down to the bottom. So I'm sure that if I gave a poll in here that you guys would probably agree that you would rather trade once or twice a year and make millions than trade 1,000 times a year, because it's less work. But if you're just new to this and you're just learning, you still need to know how to get in and get out. You still need to trade. You still need to try to grow your account in the meantime. And nothing wrong with any of that. I do it myself, but I'm also waiting for these big setups. The big setups are where it's slower, it's more predictable. It's more like once you get in, you're waiting. It's a waiting game. But we talked about some of these whale wallets, guys, that just became active. Some of you may not know this if you're really new, but 10 wallets that have been dormant for 10 years, Bitcoin wallets. And you can see these on the blockchain, dormant. They all had each $1 billion worth of Bitcoin in them. But when they bought the Bitcoin was like $12 or $13 or something like that. And they sat on it for 10 years. And they and when I say became active, I mean, they were dormant for 10 years. And then they started moving money around when Bitcoin was at 120, 126. And all of a sudden, these dormant wallets were no longer dormant, and they were moving and selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. And they have to ask why. Why are these people know something you don't know? Maybe they just knew that the cycle was in. That was it. That was the top. They also know something else that's happening. Other cryptos are getting ready to move. So they can take their $1 billion, take it off the table. they don't really need to worry about money anymore, but maybe that's nothing to them. We're talking about like the people that helped develop XRP and some of these people, the big whale wallets that obviously knew something. I mean, could you imagine sitting on a wallet that long? Let's say you bought 1,000 XRP. I mean, I'm sorry, 1,000 Bitcoin at $10. That's how much did you have to invest? $10,000. And XRP, I mean, and Bitcoin went from $10 to $100,000. So let's do the math. 100,000 divided by 10. That's a 10,000x. But you had to wait 10 years. And you turn your $1,000 or $10,000 investment into $1 billion. But what about during that whole 10-year period when Bitcoin went from $10 to 1,000? They were already up huge. When Bitcoin went from 1,000 to 15,000, they were up so huge. Millions and millions. None of them sold. None of them pulled it out. None of them transferred anything. Do you have the discipline to sit through all that? They knew something. They knew where it was going. Because these 10 wallets, 10 of them, all of a sudden, just when Bitcoin hit over 120K, started becoming active again after being dormant for 10 years and moving hundreds of millions around. So follow the money, guys. Follow the big whales. And we try to do that here. We try to understand what the institutions are doing, what the big boys are doing, because they're playing a totally different game. But I will tell you this, a lot of these guys are day traders and they know how to trade. They just accumulated so much money that they're not taking any risk on any small moves anymore. They're waiting for the big moves. And that's what we all want to get to. Any questions? I'll just keep rambling. What's a scam? I'm reading old messages from an hour ago. Kent says it's a scam. I know for a fact. I'm sure you're talking about something I was talking about earlier.
Elon Musk videos.
Oh, yeah. But a lot of people are worried, well, what if I take my XRP and move it off the exchange and then they freeze XRP and they don't let anybody buy anymore and they delist it? It could get delisted, guys, especially if liquidity runs out. But you have 100,000 or 20,000 of them sitting on your cold storage wallet. Do you think that's valuable to somebody? Heck yeah. Have you ever watched one of those Sotheby's auctions when a Rembrandt all of a sudden comes out of hiding that has been off the market for 10 years and all of a sudden it's for sale for $60 million? And then it immediately gets bought up by some other billionaire. Then it goes back into somebody's private collection or into a museum or in somebody's safe for the next 3 or 4 or 5 years. And no one can buy one because they're so rare and scarce. And then all of a sudden it goes back on Sotheby's auction 10 years later for 120 million. That's what happens. You got something valuable sitting in your closet or in your safe or on your wall in your mansion somewhere that nobody knows exists. Or knows it exists, but doesn't know who has it or is waiting for you to sell it. So when you have something really valuable that's scarce and you can't buy anymore on the open exchange and everybody wants it and everybody's using it, then you're the one that, he who holds the gold makes the rules. Pilar asks, is Coinbase FDIC insured up to 250,000? Key said nope, but I think they are. So there's something insured on there. I can't remember what it was. I don't think it may not be FDIC, but it's something. I will tell you this, they are fully responsible if they get hacked and your money gets stolen. If Coinbase gets hacked and someone steals your money because of Coinbase's mistake or Coinbase's fault, then you're covered. If someone breaks into your personal computer, hacks you and gets your login and goes on Coinbase and transfers your crypto out of Coinbase, pretending to be you cannot blame Coinbase for that. We've seen that happen before where this guy lost, I think it was like $2 million worth of Bitcoin or something. And he tried to sue Coinbase, but Coinbase proved that it was his computer that got hacked, not them. And they will. They will try to protect themselves. Of course, they have probably a lot of attorneys. They'll make sure first, but they're pretty secure. I don't think they've been hacked yet. Nick, what about the 90-year bubble? That's a good one. I don't know. It's a long time. Chris, if that much is going in, why is it not pumping? Because the XRP that they're buying is not on the exchange. It's not manipulation. It's already out there. The Ripple company, the founders have a separate ledger with billions of XRP, and they can supply the big institutions with XRP for only a certain period of time until they have to merge the ledgers or their supply runs out. Then they have to buy it on the open market. Same thing that happened when the Bitcoin ETFs went live. Everybody's wondering why isn't the price going up? They went live. 13 hedge funds started Bitcoin ETFs with billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, all when Bitcoin was at 73K. And Bitcoin kind of consolidated and went down for like 280 days before it finally broke out, because they're like, well, they're buying all this Bitcoin. Why isn't the price going up? Because they're not buying it from the exchanges. They're buying it from Grayscale. Grayscale already had billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. So the price, the Bitcoin that they were buying was already baked into the current value of Bitcoin. It's like taking money out of your left pocket and putting it in your right pocket. Doesn't affect the economy at all. I'm just going through these questions here, guys. Be the bank. Be the bank, yep. So with what you said on XRP, shouldn't we be in an XRP long on Phemex? Basically at all times with stop loss at well under $1. You can do that, Foran, but you run the risk of getting liquidated. I mean, if you can have a long with very low liquidation levels and very low leverage, you can certainly wait it out. But you can go quite negative while you're waiting. So you got to be careful. Ryan, the expiration on the options is the 26th of this month. Ryan, you still on?
Yes, sir.
December 26th is the expiration?
Yes, sir.
Well, guys, that's only like Monday. Or no, that's Friday.
No,
That's 2 days.
Friday,
Max
the
pain
market will
price
be
is
open
no.
the
Max
day
pain
after
price is
Christmas.
95,000, which would make a nice Christmas push. So the max pain price is the price where the most people get hurt, and that's where the market makers generally want to drive things. So it would be a pump to 95 grand if that was going to happen. That'd be nice Santa Claus rally.
Yeah, and that would look like this happening, guys. And it's kind of like what I've been saying is that we could bounce right here on this line and just pump right up to about 95K, which is right where the EMA ribbon is. maybe get right into it, kind of like we did back here. Get right into the ribbon. This one went above it, but we could just hit it and not even get through it. Like that would just be pumping right up to the bottom of the ribbon. 95K, boom. That would still be a nice pump. But if that happens, guys, and we can't get that ribbon starts coming down, now we know we're shorting. I mean, I will long this breakout and try to make money on that pump. That's what scalping and day trading is. But if it cannot get through the ribbon and we cannot hold above the ribbon and we see the buying pressure die out and we start to fall back down towards this line, I'm shorting. I'm going to reverse that position. All right, all right. It's 1:45, guys. We got 15 minutes left before the basics call. So Bill's doing a basics call. This is going to be the last, obviously the last call before Christmas. I think we'll be back in business like normal on Friday. Also, guys, if you're new or relatively new, make sure you get on the basics call with Bill. He goes over a lot of great stuff that you definitely need to know, stuff that I don't even talk about here. Definitely get on that. Also, we're not having a webinar for the public this normal during the week, but we are going to do one on Saturday at like 1 p.m. Eastern. So you guys are welcome to get on that. We're going to be posting that in the group, in the Facebook group. Let me just see. Yeah, Saturday, the 27th at 1 p.m. That will be the last one of the year going into next year. Also, guys, if you have anybody, if you know anybody that wanted to join the Crypto Renegades or is on the fence, you might want to let them know that next year it's not going to be as inexpensive as it is right now. We're changing some things around because we're adding, guys, so much to this group. I mean, you guys have noticed, obviously, we got other traders, expert traders. How did you guys like the call Sunday, Nate's call?
John Larson was on Sunday.
Nate John Larson
last night.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nate was last night. That's right.
Yeah, he did a great
How'd you
job.
guys like John's call and then Nate's call? Great calls, guys. I mean, these are people that are killing it, right? And we're gonna be doing that more regularly, and we're gonna be adding more calls. And I also wanted to get your guys' idea. Would you rather do things the way we've been doing it? We haven't made any decisions to change any of this as far as my call, but would you rather, and I'm not saying I'm going to do one or the other, I'm just trying to get a feel for everybody's opinion. Would you rather that I go live, let's say, every day for 30 or 40 minutes, or just 3 days a week for the hour and a half to 2 hours that I've been doing? Because sometimes it's too long for many of you. And not only that, but the real meat of the potatoes of what's going on that day, we can actually discuss and give you what you need to know within 30 minutes. I don't really need to be on for 2 hours, because we do start talking about a lot of things, but we can add more calls to the schedule if the calls are not as long, obviously. And then, that's just an option we've been throwing around. But we also will still be promoting people who have proven themselves in the group, who want to help other people. Not everybody does, guys, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some people just want to make their money and leave, and they don't want to be bothered. And that's totally normal. But if you're, you've excelled here and you're doing good and you want to help and give back, and you want to possibly, have a call where you can, show your strategy, something that's been working for you, let me and Chad know. We'll look at it. Bill, I'm sure some of you have already. Bill's already been reaching out to those of you who are really doing well. And if you're the kind of person that would like to help and give back, and I'm not talking about for free either, but I'm talking about you being compensated. But it's definitely feels good to help other people. There's a lot of people in here that need help, and a lot of people that like to see other people's strategies and ways that they're doing it, not just mine or Chad's. So some of you have learned or taken a lot from what we teach, and then you've went and created your own strategy that's working quite well. And that's why I personally don't talk about every kind of strategy, because I want you to just understand the basics first. And then, because what happens is a lot of people, once they understand the basics and they know how to get in and get out, and they know how to go long and go short, and they know how to understand where the liquidity pools are and where the trends and support and resistance levels is, then they go and literally, by simply doing, by practicing, by going long and going short, by finding their own trade setups, they actually create their own strategies. And I can't possibly know everybody's strategy, but there are some people in here that got it down first, for sure, to a science.
Yeah, I try and lock them all down as fast as I can.
Yeah,
I try to.
I appreciate you guys. All right, well, we'll consider all that. I see a lot of people saying that short calls instead of longer.
I'm afraid they'd keep you for 2 hours. I'm afraid if you were on every day that you'd end up being on.
No, it's my fault I stay on so long. All right, well, we're talking about it, guys. But like I said, there's going to be a little price change because we are adding more to the actual mastermind. We're offering more services, and those of you who are already in here obviously are grandfathered in, but so that is changing. But we do have a lot of people on the fence. We've got thousands and thousands of people come to the webinars over the last 6 months or so, and the majority of them didn't join for whatever reason, can't afford it, whatever the case may be. But or they've made some sort of promise to come. Oh, I'm going to be in next month. I'm going to do this. Please hold it, and we can't. It is what it is. It's just, our cost is going up. It costs us more to take care of all the people that are already helping us and working with us, and not only that, but we're going to be actually giving more and serving more and helping more with more one-on-ones and all kinds of different things. So that has to change. And so those of you who are in here, obviously, you're grandfathered in. You don't have to worry about that. But going forward, new people are going to be seeing something totally different than what you guys had. And they're going to wish they joined last year. Next year, they're going to wish they joined last year, which is this year right now. So thank you, Stephen. Appreciate you. Thank you, guys, everybody. We appreciate everybody. We want you guys to have a healthy, happy new year. Not only make a lot of money, but get in good physical shape. I mean, we don't teach anything about mental and physical health here too much, but I do talk about it every once in a while. But I do think it's important, because there is no use to having a lot of money if you're ill or if you're sick, and you got to give all your money back to get yourself back to healthy again. So take care of yourselves, guys. Try to get healthy, because it's much more fun to be rich when you feel good. Jen said, I like your live calls. Only thing is, a lot of time is wasted with repeated questions that come right after you talk about the thing. Yep, I know. I agree. I'm very patient that way. And questions that would be answered had that person gone through the training videos. Should be a rule that people are muted until they complete their training. You definitely have the patience of a saint. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate you. Yeah, guys. I haven't said it lately, but I do recommend that you go through all of the videos in the school first before you come on here and start asking questions. Because if you ask a question that is on video 1, we will know that you didn't watch video 1. So everybody in the group will know that that is just a basic question that you would have learned. So some of you might come in here on these live calls and think, I'm not talking about the things that you need to know. That's because we've already spent hours, hundreds of hours creating tutorials for you. They're in the school. If you watch them, they're basically already going over the basic stuff. So when you come on here, we're a little bit above basics. And then getting on the basics call with Bill is going to help you with a lot of basics questions. But in order to start taking trades and stuff, you should have already went through all of those basics calls with Bill and all of the videos, tutorials, step by step, in the right order, in the order that they are presented to you there. Pilar, happy Twinkle Day. What does that mean? I know you're in Mexico. Is that the same as Christmas Eve? Is that a Mexican thing? Oh, you're in Colorado. Sorry. Is that a Latin thing? Oh, you just like twinkles. Okay. Coach J says, I missed the node ICO's deadline. What was it again, and when does it expire? There's no deadline to buy nodes. The price will go up incrementally I can't remember when the next price increase is. Right now they're $1,000 per node. And as of right now, the buy 10, get buy one, get one free. If you buy 10 or more, it's still going. And Billy is still pushing them through. Cynthia says next is 1,250 a node. Do you know when? I did see it somewhere, but I don't remember when. January 26th. Okay, so you guys got about a month at $1,000 before the price goes up.
No, that's next year, 26.
Yeah, January 26th. Isn't that what I said? You got about a month.
If it's the end of January, yes.
Well, that's what she said, January 26th. Oh, yeah, January 2026, which is next month. If you got questions about the nodes, ask it in the nodes channel, the ICO channel. And we'll try to get them answered for you, or send me a DM if it's directed at me. I can get the answer for you. But a lot of people in the group already know the answers to some of the most common questions, so you might get them answered there. Chad, I don't think he's on this call, but he's like on his Christmas vacation, and so he'll be back, I think, Friday, and we'll be back in action Friday. I'll be back here Friday 12 noon, and then Saturday at I think 1 p.m. Eastern time for the last webinar of the year. Thank you, Bill, for all you do. People are saying that in the chat. Bill is awesome. Bill, you are amazing.
I do my best.
I mean, he is sitting in the Oval Office. I mean, look at him.
Right. Programming, guys. Eventually.
All right, guys. We're going to wrap it up. Bill's going to start that call in about 5 minutes. Take a break, get something to drink, come back on there with Bill. It's a great call. I highly recommend it. Even if you've been on it before, get on it again. And we love you guys. We want the best for you. Guys, I mean, we are right there. I mean, some of you are going to get, it might seem like it's taken a long time for some of you to make money. Maybe some of you think that you're too far behind or you don't know enough, but you don't really need to know a lot to buy some XRP, to buy some HBAR, to buy some XLM, to buy some Solana. I would just be heavier on the XRP right now if I were you, because that's going to be the first one that's going to pull those other ones up. And it could be a crazy move, guys. It could be one of those things where you think you got until next week. Oh, I'm going to wait for it to go to $1. Please don't do that. Buy right now, $1.98. If it goes to $1, buy more. But don't be one of those people that say, I'm going to wait for. People did that when Bitcoin was 15 grand, 20 grand. They didn't buy because they said, I'm going to wait for it to hit 10K. When it hits 10K, I'm going to buy more. And it never did. It went from 15K up to 126K. So don't be that person. I've had so many friends. Oh, it's too late now. I told them to buy at 300. I told them to buy at 1,000 Bitcoin. Then it went up to 5,000. Oh, it's definitely too late now. I said, no, it's not. Buy. It's going to go to 10,000. Then it goes to 10,000. Like, oh, it's definitely too late now. I should have bought at 5. Then it goes to 20. Oh, I definitely should have bought at 10. Don't do that to yourself. I think anything under $2 is a steal. I think buying XRP right now is equivalent to buying Bitcoin when it was 13 bucks. That's my comparison.
Hey, Nico.
Yes.
Last meeting, I chimed in real quick, mentioned I bought some top deal there on Saturday evening. Evening. And a couple days later, they showed up in Simple. I got my licenses, and I just see in Kaivo this morning, 2,300 are pending. So everything's working beautifully.
Awesome. So you bought nodes and you bought XRP, or you bought Optio off an exchange, or you just bought the nodes?
I'm sorry, I bought the buy one get one.
Oh, okay, cool.
Got 20 of those, and on your call today, yeah, I did buy some XRP as well. Thanks for the advice.
Awesome. You're welcome. Congratulations. Let me just show you guys real quick while we're still here. We got another minute. Let me just show you right here. This is just my back office in total transparency here. I have 20 licenses, 20 active nodes. They're starting to show up here on Simple now down here below. And then if I go to Kaivo, Yeah, I mean, there's always that 3 pending up here. Every day, another one goes distributed and then another pending one. So accumulated 54,000 Optio tokens just since December 1st. Down here, it was only half because I bought the 10 and they went active before my other 10 showed up. I don't know why, but whatever. I don't care. So that's it. It's working. I mean, they're accumulating. If this thing goes to 10 cents, 15 cents, $1.60. You remember when, first of all, Gala, same thing, guys, 0.004 cents went up to 67 cents. So just imagine if it takes a whole year, at this rate, I'll have 800,000 plus tokens, right? And if it goes to, I don't know, 67 cents, 800,000 times 0.67, that's $500,000. Not too shabby. Now, is that going to happen? I don't know, but that's what we all hope for, right? All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, all that stuff. But we'll see you before New Year's. I'll see you on Friday. And if you want to get on Saturday's webinar, just go into the free Facebook group, not the mastermind one. And I'm posting videos and stuff in there, reminders for people. You obviously don't have to be on there, but and if you have anybody that you want to refer to it, you can obviously give them your referral link. You can get a referral link in the back office of the school, but if you let me know that you're referring someone to just the live webinar and you don't have a referral link and you send me their name first in private message, and then they end up joining after being on the webinar, just let me know. Let me know in advance, because if they join from being on the webinar, I'm not going to just assume that you referred them, because we have lots of ads running. We got a lot of people that are coming on just by themselves. But anyway, we'll take care of you. All right, guys. Any other questions, just ask it in the main chat or get on the basis call starting right now. All right. Have a great rest of your day.